On today's show, I help a couple looking for a rural escape somewhere with a strong village community, but it seems that size is going to be a struggle.
Interesting, to say the least. Looks a bit small on the front.
But it's fortunate some houses in our lineup do measure up.
Oh, this is big.
This is big.
Much like I thought it would be low roofs. Wow, that's fantastic.
Today I'm in Derbyshire and this is the village of Eyam, where in 1665 a cloth-bound package infected with the bubonic plague arrived from London. Once the disease had started to claim the lives of the villagers, the entire community made an extraordinary decision to quarantine themselves to stop the disease from spreading. Around 260 people lost their lives as a result, affecting over 70 families. Today, Eyam still remembers the courage of its ancestors and the industries that contributed to the revival of this beautiful village.
Derbyshire is located at the heart of Britain and shares its borders with 7 other counties, with Nottinghamshire to the east and Staffordshire to the west. A county of striking and varied landscapes, its windswept moors give way to exposed limestone dales, where miles of dry stone walls snake through lush fields and wooded valleys. And the crowning glory is undoubtedly the Peak District National Park, which lies predominantly in Derbyshire. Ancient towns like Ashbourne provide gateways to the region, attracting house hunters and visitors alike who come to admire its many Georgian buildings, historic almshouses, and the main attraction, the 14th century St Oswald's Parish Church, featuring a 212-foot spire. The region is also peppered with picturesque villages, like Thorpe, home to a stout Norman church dating back to the 12th century, and pretty residential properties made from stone. When it comes to industry, look no further than the World Heritage Site of the Derwent Valley Mills, home to Sir Richard Arkwright's Masson Mill, a cotton factory which became famous in 1769 when Arkwright successfully harnessed the power of the river to run it. Today, his legacy lives on as the mill houses one of the finest collections of working textile machines in the UK, now open to the public. So, with industrial history, architecture and wonderful scenery, it's no wonder Derbyshire remains popular with those looking for their ideal rural home.
Derbyshire can be great value for money, with the average detached house price coming in an impressive 26% below the national figure. Having said that, proximity to the Peak District can inflate prices in historic market towns such as Bakewell and Ashbourne, with their very attractive housing stock. However, further from the national park, Wirksworth is a fine example of a town where you'll get that little bit more for your money.
Mindful of this, let's meet today's buyers and find out what has attracted them to this county. Research scientist David and his wife Sarah, an occupational therapist, currently live in Dartford in Kent. Their first encounter was some 3 decades ago in the Cumbrian countryside.
We first met in the Lake District, in a church up there I was been going to for several years.
Went along to this church one Sunday morning and we were introduced. We didn't fall in love at first sight, but gradually over the years we did.
We've been together for maybe 29 years.
Certainly.
A long time, but great time.
Together they have 3 children who are now grown up, and their youngest is about to leave for university. After years of moving around for David's work, they've decided the time is right for both of them to take early retirement, leave their busy local area, and head back to somewhere more peaceful again.
It's a lot sort of busier and sort of faster life down here, and probably time for looking for a change and something a little bit quieter.
Well, we're thinking of moving to Derbyshire, which is sort of central to the country, and it's a beautiful area.
And it will have the Peak District on the sort of doorstep again, which is a place we haven't really explored before, and we like the outdoors, so we want to go and explore it.
Alongside a busy job, David is also a church warden. They both attend regularly, so a local church and a new community will be important considerations for their next move, as will a space for their hobbies. Sarah would like more time to enjoy cooking and knitting, whilst David would like somewhere to continue his hobby of model making.
I've got marquetry, sort of making pictures out of wood veneers, and also model making with wood as well.
Moving will mean leaving their 4-bedroom chalet bungalow where they've lived for 16 years. But whilst it has served them well, the plot no longer suits Sarah.
With a lovely garden, about 1/3 of an acre, on different levels, which is becoming more difficult for me because I have arthritis in one of my hips. And David's having to do all the gardening really now, which working as well as doing all the garden is quite a lot for him to do.
Saying goodbye to their family home will be an emotional upheaval, but the benefits of more free time in a brand new location will far outweigh this.
I think I'm excited that we'll be doing something together. We haven't done that for a very long time, and I'm excited about that.
Now's the time for ourselves to enjoy and having that time together to do whatever we want.
For David and Sarah's move to Derbyshire, they're hoping to find a country home somewhere between the towns of Derby and Bakewell, so we're concentrating the search in this area. And I'm meeting up with them in the county to find out more about their property wish list.
Well, Sarah and Dave, welcome to Derbyshire.
Thank you.
With 3 grown-up children that have left home.
They have.
This is the next chapter, isn't it? It's just about the 2 of you for most of the time.
The house really that we're in at the moment is too big now, it's just the 2 of us.
So talk us through what you'd like with your next property.
Well, I think we'd like a detached house, ideally, at least 3 bedrooms, so when the family come, they can come and stay. Flat garden, so that sort of Sarah can do more gardening, not be bothered too much about her hip.
We do know, don't we, that Derbyshire is very hilly.
It is, but as long as the house itself is on the flat, I think that's the important thing.
We'd love a social kitchen. So at the moment we've got a kitchen and other people have to sit in a different room. You can't really talk to them while you're cooking. So we'd love a social kitchen when the family are home. We do own a caravan and it would be lovely to have room on the property to keep it, or perhaps be able to store it but nearer.
So you're both pretty flexible when it comes to location, but I'm guessing you want to be close to a community, the edge of a village.
Church is very important to us, so to be able to be a member of a local church, involved in the community,
That would be great.
Would be great for us, yeah.
Oh, it does sound wonderful. Well, let's remind ourselves of how much you've got to spend with this move to Derbyshire.
Right, we've got £380,000.
Well, we do have some splendid properties to show you. You don't know the county very well, so I think it's going to be an interesting few days, but an exciting one. A good budget. Let's see how we get on. Let's go.
With a budget of £380,000, David and Sarah are looking for a detached home with 3 bedrooms. They'd like a large kitchen diner as the hub of the house and an even accessible garden. A place to park their caravan close by will be important to them, as will a strong village community and a local church. We found 3 fantastic properties for them to look at, and at each one I'll be asking them to guess the price at the end of the tour. Our final stop to the mystery house will certainly give them a new outlook to consider.
So taking this lovely early retirement, it does give you so many options, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. One of the things we want to do is sort of look at doing something voluntary, because it's important for our faith to do things for other people. To be able to give back something is important for us.
I think this will be a very different way of life, perhaps slower, but doing more things together.
We're starting off our tour within their search area in a small village called Fritchley. Set within lush and endless scenery, Critch is the nearest town to Fritchley, lying just a short 3-minute drive away. A former market town, Critch has all the amenities you could ask for, a thriving community, and no less than 3 churches. A further congregational church can be found back in the centre of Fritchley, which also hosts other community events that Sarah and David might enjoy. And just a short walk away from it, we come to the first house in our selection.
Well, this is it, our first property. I'm going to get you to turn round because it's this wonderful old cottage.
Interesting. It is old. Yeah. And it's got an archway. I love archways.
So, first impressions.
Interesting,
Yeah.
to say the least. Yeah, not quite sure, really. A bit hard to say. Looks a bit small on the front.
It does look a bit small, but I'm really intrigued.
It does have a certain charm, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Let's step inside, see what you make of
okay.
it.
Originally starting life as 2 cottages and now knocked into one, this property dates back some 400 years. It is semi-detached and may appear to look compact from the front, but there's a new extension to the rear which really has added to the space inside. We're starting off with the kitchen.
So step inside.
Nice and warm. Oh, lovely kitchen. It's beautiful. Lovely table. I can see the family around that, can't you?
Yeah.
And the range.
It is a country kitchen, isn't it?
It
Yeah,
is.
it is. Yeah.
Lots of wood, lots of character, lots of charm.
Reasonable size as well.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of-
Now, this is the oldest part of the house. And you can see just by the thickness of those
I was
walls.
going to
Yeah,
say
this
how
is-
thick the walls are.
Yeah.
There's a bit
Still
more room
room.
over there as well.
That's the extension. So you've got a
Right.
big utility room
Okay.
with underfloor heating.
Okay, right.
Very nice.
And then beyond that, you've actually got a downstairs cloakroom with a shower.
Oh, useful.
Initial reactions outside might be on the small side. What do we think as we step in?
This is bigger than I expected it was going to be.
Good. Well, I'm hoping you're going to be equally impressed with what's next door. So this is your sitting room.
What a lovely floor.
Yeah, all reclaimed from a local pub. It's going to be thrown out, so the owners found it, brought it in here.
What fun.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Nice
Very cosy.
nice big fire,
Yeah.
wood burner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's
no.
cosy. It's small.
Is the character a little bit off-putting, this charm that it has?
You know, I'd love to holiday here.
Not sure.
live.
Not sure all the time.
So if this side is old, let me show you what's next door, because that might change your mind. Just
Okay.
through here, this side, which is far more contemporary.
Wow. Look at this.
Nice
Beautiful.
and light, very light.
And that would be more room for the family to spill out into, relaxing.
Yeah.
Summer or winter.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
To the side of us, you've got the garage. There's no room there for the caravan. However, the owners keep their caravan
Oh.
at a local farm.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
In actual fact, there are 2 caravan parks, one 3 miles away, one 5 miles away, if you wanted to look at
would
something
be
more
amazing.
permanent.
That's useful. That'd
Good
be a lot
option.
better than what we've got now.
Would I take it that we're loving this room?
Definitely.
This is very- yeah,
lovely.
this is-
Beautiful.
Let's head upstairs and see what you make of that.
Okay.
It's a great start to the first property, and the modern extension has really helped boost the space downstairs. I just hope the 4 bedrooms upstairs will also appeal. 2 are neutrally decorated, large enough for doubles, and another smaller bedroom is set up as a study. There's also the family bathroom, and last to see is the final bedroom.
So let me show you the master bedroom.
Right. Nice and bright. Slightly small, but lovely. I love the window. It's lovely to see that depth of the wall looking out.
Yes.
You can see.
And that is all countryside. You know, we really are in the heart of
country.
it here, aren't we? So overall, not a bad reaction to upstairs.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's time to head outside, see what's
Okay,
there.
great.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Once out in the garden, it'll be time for them to guess the price, and I just hope they can see the value in this charming cottage. They may be feeling the squeeze upstairs, but the outlook in the garden could make up for it.
See, this is why you want to move, isn't it? Those country views.
Beautiful views.
Amazing.
Lovely.
So we do have our flat garden here.
Yes.
Although, Sarah, there are some quite steep steps to get up here, but I'm thinking that would be worth landscaping and you could just soften those.
Yes, you could. This is lovely and flat. And if the lawnmower was in the shed, that would be fine.
I can put my feet up.
So I wonder what's going through your mind now and how good you're going to be at guessing the price.
I'm no good at these things, so I'll go first. I think it's on the market for 360,000.
Okay.
So not knowing the area really, and 370,000.
Okay, you're both under the asking price. It's
Okay.
actually on the market for £379,950.
Oh, right, okay.
So I can give you £50 change from your top budget.
You've done well. Lovely first property.
All right, well, have another look around on your own this time,
Yeah.
and I'll catch up with you when you're ready.
Lovely.
Thank
Thanks
you.
very
Thank you.
much.
Okay.
On the market for just under £380,000, The space in this semi-detached character cottage is really deceptive, for it comes with 4 bedrooms, a modern extension, a lovely country kitchen, breakfast room for Sarah, as well as options for David's modelling. And whilst it doesn't have a huge garden, there is a thriving church community right on the doorstep.
Initial thoughts of this house, bigger than it looked from the outside, and for just the 2 of us, there's plenty of space around. A little bit concerned probably about the sort of parking space at the front, quite small. And the garden, probably a little bit on the smaller side than we're expecting.
What really works for me is the kitchen, a lovely farm kitchen where I can imagine the family sitting around chatting whilst teas, coffees, meals are being prepared. Really lovely, lovely warm. That's what we were really looking for.
Well, that's our first house tour done.
Lovely.
Charming cottage.
Beautiful.
Good start, I think.
Very good start.
Good, yeah.
Right, let's keep going.
Okay.
Right.
Derbyshire's deep clay-enriched soil holds the history of its industrial past in pottery making. 200 years ago and in its prime, there were 69 different potteries at work in the area, only a few of which are still in business. And it's to one of the most well-known, Denby pottery, that David and Sarah have come today. To understand more about the heritage of the county, they're meeting company historian Linda Salt.
How was the Denby potteries established and how long ago?
In 1806, as you can imagine, the Industrial Revolution was well underway. People needed roads to take the goods to market, and the road builders were busy. They got as far as Denby, and they discovered this magnificent, enormous seam of clay. The local potter, William Bourne, was called to have a look at the seam of clay. He recognised its attributes straight away. In 1809, he put his youngest son, Joseph, on the site of the clay bed to get underway with the pottery.
What were they making?
Stoneware, bottles and jars, to basically hold liquid commodities of the day. Glass was around, but it was very expensive. So everything basically contained in a fluid came in a ceramic bottle. If we look just behind us, the bottles also included hot water bottles.
Oh.
And they were the more functional looking ones, but there were some interesting shapes.
Oh, wow.
And it was intended for gentlemen.
But in the bed to keep it warm?
Yes.
The brand is traditionally known for its brown salt glaze, an effect achieved by throwing salt into the kilns. When the salt vapours combine with the clay, it creates a shiny brown coating. After the Second World War, the company moved on to tableware, and whilst the glazer methods moved on, some of the original processes are still done today. In the factory, Sarah and David are meeting Head of Manufacturing Dean Barlow and dipper Joe Pearson.
Hello guys.
Hello there.
Joe's dipping a teapot. So basically you've got to cover your thumb over the spout, otherwise the glaze flows into the inside and you've got the wrong glaze inside. Yeah. And then you've got to dip it, getting the top of the handle to the top of the spout without going inside. And you've got to do it fairly quickly, otherwise the glaze becomes too thick and it will run off the pot when it's fired. Okay. If you want to have a go, so...
These biscuit-fired teapots are still porous, and when dipped, soak up the water from the solution, leaving just the glaze on the surface of the pot. Then they're dried before a final firing.
Oh, very good.
So you've missed the top of the handle slightly.
With 25 pairs of hands involved in the process, over 150,000 pieces are made each week. Using skilled craftsmanship, they are still made from the original seam of Derbyshire clay, discovered all those years ago. Once the pots are fired, finishing touches are applied before a final check is made.
Every single piece is hand inspected, so they look around the outside of the piece, they check for any visible flaws, and then every piece is tapped to make sure that it's not got any internal cracks.
Right.
Then you get a dull thud rather than that nice ring.
Okay.
From their potted history to the complex skills involved in making them, the legacy of these ceramic pieces lives on. But for now, we're turning our attention back to the business of house hunting. For our next property, we're staying right in the centre of their search area, this time in the village of Middleton. This pretty farming hamlet grew up alongside the nearby market town of Wirksworth, where there was a prosperous lead mining industry in the 17th and 18th centuries. Today, its period limestone buildings and picturesque alleyways play host to many cafes and shops. In the centre sits the Grand St Mary's Church, which dates back to the 7th century and is associated with the Methodist Church back in Middleton. Again, just a short stroll away from the church lies our next house.
Let me introduce our second property.
That's nice.
Bigger.
Nice front garden.
House.
Really
Lovely
nice.
front garden.
Pond.
Yes.
Well, we've learned something on that first property. Never judge it by the front
By
door.
the outside,
Yes.
no.
It's nice, I like it. Makes it look bigger because you've got space in front, which I like.
Right, I
Good.
think we should start having a look around our second property, don't you?
Definitely.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Approached by a flagstone pathway, this symmetrical cottage was built in the 1760s with an added 100-year-old extension at the back that perfectly blends the old and new together. We're starting off in the original sitting room.
Let's start off with, well, I'm going to say the first reception room.
Okay. Lovely open fire.
Yeah.
Lovely big window.
Look at that stone sill.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
Fun.
Yeah.
Got
That's
a character, which is nice, and,
And
a
the
little,
deep-
little recesses.
Lovely having a bookcase in set in the wall. We have lots of books, don't I?
Yeah, too many.
So you've got this reception room, and then you've got another one the other side of the hallway.
Yes, okay.
Leaving behind two of the three receptions in the oldest part of the house, a small doorway brings you to the more modern extension at the back and straight into the kitchen diner.
This is nice.
What a lovely kitchen.
Nice and open.
Yeah.
Lots of room.
Now, somebody wanted a large kitchen, I seem to remember.
I do, yes.
And
a massive range. I love it. It's a little bit more quirky and different than I expected, and lovely. Really like it.
Yeah, a lot bigger than expected. Didn't expect a kitchen this size.
see, I think you want quite a large house, in
I think
actual
we probably
fact.
do, don't we?
I think for when the family come, we're
And
all
even
together.
church events, meals and meetings and
Yeah,
things.
inviting people round.
So you have all this space here. Remember, you've got three reception rooms. The third one is just behind us, next door.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that leads also into a utility room and downstairs cloakroom.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a lot
That's good.
downstairs,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
So you do want a big house, don't you? You do.
Probably
like
bigger
it.
than we thought.
Yes, I think so. I think so. Well, let's see what you make of upstairs, shall we?
Okay.
Reconfigured to maximise space, this downstairs extension has made a real impact, and the four upstairs bedrooms benefit as well. One is a bright blue double with a wash basin, a smaller double is presented with a single bed, and another double is set up as a study. Then, next to the family bathroom, we come to the largest of the bedrooms.
Oh, this is big.
This
This
is big.
much. I thought it would be low roofs and small rooms up here. Wow, that's fantastic.
So, master bedroom, wonderful.
Yeah, no.
Lovely, fantastic. And
We've always-
wardrobes, look. Fitted wardrobes, so it's even bigger than it even looks.
Yeah.
And it's huge as it is.
Let's take a look at the garden, because it is unusual, and we're going to have to talk about that price as well. Let's see how we get
Okay.
on.
As well as a patch at the front, the garden also spreads out to the side of the property, where pockets of lawn and flower beds sit alongside a number of sheds, as well as a large veggie plot.
So, you've got that wonderful front garden. This is yours. Now, the beloved caravan could live here. However, there are areas around here that actually currently rent out spaces for caravans and extra cars.
Lovely.
Now, what about you, Dave? I sense a little bit of a reticence.
I think although there's three reception rooms downstairs, they're a bit on the small side, each of them. If we have visitors or friends coming round to stay and things, it sort of end up in different rooms.
What do we think it's on the market for?
You go first this time.
I think it's probably over budget, and I'm going to say 395.
Okay.
I was going to go for £400,000.
Oh, you're very close, aren't you? I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, because the asking price is £364,950.
Really?
£15,000 under
budget.
budget. I can't enlarge those reception rooms, but I'm going to send you back. I want you to have another look at them now.
yeah, okay.
Tell him the kitchen outweighs those reception rooms.
I
Go
will.
on. Everyone lives in the kitchen.
On the market just shy of £365,000, this detached home gives our buyers 4 bedrooms, an impressive master. Whilst the receptions aren't vast, there are 3 of them, topped off with a great kitchen diner. The property also boasts a level cottage garden, and there are opportunities to keep the caravan close by.
My impression of this house, when we got inside, the layout is bigger than you'd expect, and the bedrooms upstairs and the height of the rooms, I was just amazed. I love the kitchen. That probably does feel like the hub, the middle of the building.
Nice big kitchen with a sort of plenty of room for the social aspect of it as well. Nice big main bedroom, which I like. The outside works well. Perhaps the downside being, for me anyway, is although there are 3 reception rooms, they are on the sort of small side.
This really is a splendid garden, just looking at it.
It is, with the sunshine and everything. And even bigger on the inside than it looks on the outside.
Oh, I wonder if you've
Wonderful.
convinced him. You're going to have to sleep on this one, Dave.
I think so, yeah.
Positive vibes with those reception rooms. Because guess what? That's it.
Okay.
But I do have one more house to show you tomorrow.
Okay, looking forward to it.
Good.
Yes.
Let's go.
Thank you.
It's the start of our second day with David and Sarah from the town of Dartford in Kent, who have a budget of £380,000 to spend on a rural idyll, near a village with a church and strong community. Still to come at the Mystery House, differing taste in styles become apparent.
Looks a little bit oldie-worldy for me.
You're learning
I
things
love
about
it.
them, aren't you?
And I get a real taste for the county.
Can't go wrong with that. Well, it's been a fair start to our house search, but there's still room for improvement. Clearly, Dave and Sarah want to live in the heart of a community with a good church nearby. So I wonder how they're going to feel if we slightly remove them from that, but show them a delightful mystery house with views to match.
Our Mystery House is the most northerly location in Lower Lumsdale. On the fringes of the Peak District, it's just a 5-minute drive away from the county town of Matlock. A former spa town, its vibrant centre is now full of all the amenities and luxuries you might need, plus a number of churches. Nearby in the village of Tansdale, 2 further churches can be found, both beautifully built from locally quarried stone. Here, there's also an active village hall with a number of community events that might suit our couple. And it's just a short drive away from the action in a truly rural setting where we find the mystery package.
So a new day, our final property. It's got to be the Mystery House, hasn't it? Here she is.
Beautiful. Lovely.
Any idea what this used to be?
Some sort of farm building or...
It's actually a stable block.
Okay.
To the big mill house. So it probably begs the question, why have we picked this? It's the location. This location is probably a bit further out than the other 2. You do have a village quite close by, but we are a little bit more remote. So the way we came in, that's your entrance. You also have an alternative private entrance at the side.
Okay.
But I think we should start the tour of the house first.
Yes.
Yeah?
Good idea.
Come on.
Whilst our Mystery House is semi-detached and takes them out of a central village location, this character conversion dating back to the early 1800s has an ideal layout. It was sympathetically extended in the 1990s to provide well-proportioned rooms without losing any of its original charm.
Right, as you walk through, you've got a small hallway.
Right.
Leads us straight into
Wow, that's
our
really,
sitting room.
Beautiful fire.
it's really nice.
This is where they would have been stabled. You'd have had 3 horses along. They'd have been tethered up against that wall.
Right.
So that's why the ceilings are so high. Again, the original beams, as you can see, they've been painted white.
I like that.
It's got a lot of character in it.
So this is your sitting room. And then they've added this wonderful sunroom stroke conservatory.
Right.
Been quite a strong start, hasn't it?
Very much so.
Let's see what you make of the kitchen next door.
Okay. That's beautifully done, isn't it? Place to sit, social kitchen. Beautiful, lovely and light. Lots of windows. We're used to lots of windows in our kitchen at home, aren't we?
Yeah.
Beautiful, overlooking the garden.
You don't have a separate dining room. It's all sort of integrated here. So, Dave, does it work for you, or would you change anything?
The layout's good. I'm not so sure about the finish to the kitchen units. It looks a little bit oldie-worldy for me. More sort of cottagey, not quite the sort of thing. For me, anyway.
You're learning things about them, aren't you? Perhaps you'll be changing this kitchen to suit your needs.
Possibly.
We'll see. Well, it hasn't worked its magic on you. Let's see if the rest of the property does.
With differing tastes becoming ever more apparent, I hope the 3 upstairs rooms give them a meeting of minds. The first is a beamed country-style bedroom. The second, a comfortable single. There's a heritage suite in the family bathroom. And then we come to the last room.
Oh, pretty.
So you've got this wonderful master bedroom. So this is the main bedroom here, but you've also got a little dressing area, vanity area.
Beautiful.
Nice and light, a lot of light coming in. It's
Beautifully done. And they've kept the wooden beams.
And you've also got an ensuite.
Ensuite.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a beautiful room.
Yeah, it's got character and it's, yeah.
So you like what you see so far up here?
Yes,
Lovely.
Yeah.
Good. All right, then. Well, let's head outside. Dave, if you wouldn't mind leading the way for me. Thank you.
With both parties warming to the mystery property, I feel encouraged to show them the garden. With just a few shallow steps, it takes full advantage of its rural position, benefiting from beautiful far-reaching views.
And here, you can really appreciate the stable cottage.
Yeah.
They've laid it out beautifully. Roses, different places to sit. It's full of character.
Got your summer house.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're trying to be mindful about your hip. Would this be okay for you?
It would. I could do little bits at a time.
Now, what's the last thing I've got to mention?
The caravan.
The beloved caravan. The good news is there's a farm about a mile away, plus 2 campsites.
Oh,
A
okay.
little bit further out, 2 miles away.
Yeah.
So plenty of options.
Options. Okay.
Well, let's see what you make of the price. I'll let you know it's only just gone on by a week.
Okay.
I'm thinking it's over budget because of its location. I think it's £410,000.
Okay, I'm thinking probably a bit less than that. 39950.
The asking price for this property is, I'm being mean, £320,000.
300.
No,
Wow.
really? That's a lot less.
That's a
than I
lot
thought
less
it
than
would
the
be.
others.
I'm really surprised.
So for the final time, I'm going to send you 2 off to have a look together on your own.
Okay.
Please
thank you.
do. I'll catch up with you later.
Right,
Thank
see
you.
you later.
Now, it's not often you can show someone such a splendid property in a prime location, £60,000 under their budget. So I'm going to leave them on their own and see if Sarah can convince Dave this could be their future home.
Considerably under budget, the mystery house has just come on the market for £320,000. A former stable block, it has a large and light kitchen diner. There are 3 bedrooms and a sunroom. And whilst it may be more rural and a short drive from the local village, it does come with spectacular uninterrupted views.
I have to say, I think I've slightly fallen in love with the mystery house, probably over the other 2 houses that we've seen. This living room is so warm and welcoming and lovely and bright. The kitchen is very much to my taste. It's sort of country, comfortable. I'd love to be in that kitchen.
What I really like is the master bedroom. It's a good size, lots of light in it. Also, the views from the windows upstairs across the valley are amazing. So it'd be great to wake up to those every morning.
Right. Hello. Happy?
Yes, very happy.
Good.
Beautiful house.
Well, considering you didn't know this county very well, we've certainly done some miles, haven't we?
We
Yes.
have.
3 properties, varying degrees of enthusiasm for them. I think you 2 need some time on your own and then we can have a chat. Come on.
Yes, okay.
With miles of meadows of lush green grass, livestock flourished in Derbyshire, and from their plentiful supply of milk, its cheese industry thrived. Many villages like Hartington have a long tradition in cheese making. The original factory, dating back to 1875, became renowned when George V granted it a royal warrant to supply Blue Stilton to court. But due to closures, cheese production was set to cease in the village until 5 dedicated locals clubbed together and took up the cause. They converted rural barns into a creamery and kept Hartington Stilton firmly on the map. I've come to meet one of the founders, Alan Salt, to find out about the present-day production.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing about your new business tucked away behind this farm.
Let's go through then.
Thank you. What's going on in here?
This is curd.
So how do we get curd?
This was milk this time yesterday. This would be liquid milk, and we've converted it into curd. We're preserving the milk, and we've got to get the solids out of the milk. And this is the fat and the protein, and that's what we're going to make the cheese with.
Now, this liquid here, is this what you're trying to
That's
drain
the
away?
whey. That's mostly water, and we don't need all that.
So what are we actually producing
We are
here?
making Blue Stilton cheese. Stilton is a protected product. We can only make it in Nottinghamshire, Leicestershire and Derbyshire.
So Derbyshire in this area of Hartington is renowned for its cheese production.
There's a long history of cheese making in Derbyshire, and we're just, unfortunately, the last one, but we're keeping it going.
Well, you say you're the last one, but it did stop at one point, didn't it, Alan?
Yes, the oldest cheese factory in the country was 3 miles away. That closed down in 2009, leaving no cheese making in Derbyshire.
It's incredible to think, though, if Derbyshire is one of the few counties, not only in this country, but in the whole world, that can produce something as fine as Stilton, and they stop producing it.
Yeah.
I mean, you've turned it around and proved that there is a huge
We've turned it around,
market.
yeah, and there's a niche for artisan cheese made on a small scale.
The process continues by repeatedly breaking up the curd to release the excess whey from the milk. Next, salt and a mould culture is added. Then it's finally milled and packed into cylindrical moulds and left to settle for 3 days before the next process can begin.
Right, Nicky, now I'm going to show you one of the other stages in the cheese making process, putting the crust on the cheese, and this is the binding process. So that's the cheese, so I'm going to take this plastic mould off that makes the cheese shape.
Now, you called it a Blue Stilton, but I can't see any blue at the moment.
So the mould seeds are in there to make it go blue later, but we don't want it to go blue now, it's too soon. So I'm going to seal up the cheese. I'm going to get a bit of the cheese,
Yes.
put it on, and put it back on the next bit. It's filled all the holes in.
So it's, in a way, it's like sealing the sides.
This is the coat. Do you want to have a go?
I'd love to. Thank you. And this is the crust that we recognise.
That will dry out, and that will form the crust that everyone recognises on a piece of Stilton.
Now, this
I mean,
is all
pretty
got
good, actually. Your first time you've ever done it.
And this all has to be done by hand.
All done by hand, yeah.
Whilst I'm getting the hang of the binding process, it will take weeks of storage before it's ready for eating. So to get a taste, I'm parting company with Alan and heading to the centre of Hartington. At the old cheese shop, I'm meeting another of the creamery's owners, Claire Milner.
Hi, Claire.
Hi, pleased to meet you.
Thank you, lovely.
Welcome to the cheese shop.
Well, when you say cheese shop, I wasn't expecting so many different varieties of cheese. You can see my eyes have just lit up, haven't they?
You want to try some now? You've made
I
some.
would love to, but will mine taste like this?
Well, should do in about 8 weeks' time, yes.
Oh, that's delicious. But it's not overpowering. It's quite a subtle taste, isn't it? Who needs crackers? Get straight to the cheese. That flavour is incredible.
It's quite sweet, isn't it?
It is.
Doesn't leave the bitter taste in your mouth afterwards.
Claire, thank you very much indeed.
No, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Can't go wrong with that.
Although these crumbs mark the end of my tour, they signify a remarkable revival led by a passionate local group, championing delicious Derbyshire cheese for generations to come.
Well, I'm feeling pretty confident that we've shown Dave and Sarah the merits of living in glorious Derbyshire. But have we found them their perfect property? Let's find out. Sarah and Dave, Derbyshire. Do you still want to move here?
Definitely sold Derbyshire to me.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice countryside, really nice area.
It's won you over.
It has.
Well, I wonder if our houses do the same, because very interesting before we actually talk about the houses, watching the relationship as we go through. Because I think it'd be fair to say, Sarah, that you have loved some of the properties, haven't you?
I have, yes, I have. Yeah, certainly the second house, the Georgian building, had lots of room and a bedroom there. The garden was just right, really, for us. The mystery house had all those lovely elements of warmth and comfort that I felt very at home there, really, in the kitchen and the living room.
See, I thought that you two would be quite united looking around. There's the same ideas, same sort of demands on a property. In actual fact, your views are quite different. Has it surprised you?
It has, yeah, it surprised me. And perhaps seeing the sort of different things that we like. So, yeah, it has surprised me, but I think, like all things, we accept there's going to be compromises. But it's just deciding what's best for this stage in our lives.
So we need to think a bit further about sort of what we want from a home and what we're looking for.
So have any of our three properties that we showed you, have they got close at all?
I think the third house, the mystery house, is probably the one that's closest.
Is it?
Whether it's close enough is the next question. It's got lovely views, but it's just the sort of little things that we need to really think about and make sure it's right.
But it did sound that there were churches nearby that looked hopeful, didn't it, in the village and the town nearby.
So what is the next logical step for you both?
I think the area of Derbyshire, for me, it's confirmed that this is the right place to be looking.
That's super.
I think we agreed on that. But it's just getting that much.
Derbyshire is a truly beautiful county, isn't it? I'm going to be honest, I'm slightly frustrated because I thought we might have done it.
I'm so sorry, we haven't quite joined up some dots, but it's a process, I suppose. It's a journey.
It is. But we've got you that little bit closer.
Yes.
We wish you all the best. It has been such a wonderful few days.
Thank you very much. We've really, really enjoyed it.
Yes, we have. It's been great.
Although we didn't find Dave and Sarah their perfect property, it hasn't been a wasted exercise, as we've cemented their desire to move to this gorgeous county. And with a little bit more research into the local communities, I'm sure they'll be making Derbyshire their new home. We wish them all the very best. See you soon.
If you would like to escape to the country in Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.